You know, this may sound odd, but Nakoruru is kinda just SNK's Morrigan if you think about it. They're both the faces of their company's second biggest fighting game series, overshadowing the actual protagonists of said series. They're in all of the crossover games, except the two really bad ones, but you know, we don't talk about those, they're in all the good ones. Even SNK has made fun of the fact that Nakoruru kinda just transcends Samurai Shodown itself. She technically made her KoF debut in KoF95 on the Game Boy, as the last remains of the originally planned Team Samurai, which consisted of her, Haomaru, and Vigaku. No, I'm not going to review that version, I'm not doing that right now, we're only doing the canon games here. Now then, let's get started with the game you guys are here for. Oh no, this is important, what the heck? So yeah, Striker Nakoruru. She sure exists. You'll mainly be using her for the healing, but you can also use her as a worst crystal bit reversal. I sure do, I play Ramon, she helps a lot with that. Honestly, there isn't much to talk about her because she's really tame, and strikers in this game are anything but tame, so you rarely see her used. I mean, you can start combos with back throw, but yeah. The interesting part is that her design is based on Samurai Shodown 64. The alternate cover is completely original from what I can tell, and it eventually appeared in Samurai 5 and 6. But it could have also been from 64, you know, we kinda can't tell, they haven't re-released the games in a playable state. They actually reused the sprite from here for OTUM, obviously a lot scaled down, but you can still see her. It's not as scaled down as 13 though, like oh my goodness, what happened to your pixels, girl? Okay, I'll stop with this, let's get to the actual games you guys care about.
綺麗な鳥さん、はじめまして、大橋のココです。パパイヤが大好物なの。こちらこそはじめまして。うちのママ母はネズミさんやカエルさんが大好きみたい。猛禽類ですものね。こちらの世界に来てからはハムスターというネズミさんをよく食べてますよ。はい。あとスズメさんもしょっちゅう捕まえてますよ。これが
I don't know why, but she just looks really small in this game. Like, what happened to her? She looks lanky as hell. Give her some cheeseburger. Most of the colors are pretty nice. The player 2 ones are especially really vibrant. I like the touch of pink. Even the original ones, which are more like the player 2 ones from 5 and 6, look really nice. I am not exactly a fan of the player 3 and player 4 colors though, especially compared to the original ones. I think the player 3 one just looks kinda mismatched right now, whilst the player 4 one, she just looks like she's weed Nakoruru. Colors 5 and 6 look pretty nice in my opinion. Color 5 kinda looks like what happens to a Kamen Rider suit after several decades of decay. Meanwhile, player 6 is pretty standard purple one. Like, if it was any other game it'd be something else, but we'll get to that later. And then there's the alternate outfit where, to be honest, the colors all kinda look like shit to me. The main outfit is fine. It's pretty cute, but for your sake, Nakoruru, I really hope that's just a cosplay, because I don't think Mama Haha is gonna be a very good lawyer once you get oh no. The selection of normals feels kinda limited due to the lack of heavies represented. Most of her normals come from lights and mediums. I will say turning her overhead kick into just a normal light feels really weird, and 2M is now just 3A. It works as a combo extender off of heavies. It feels off, but it does its job, I guess. Rera Mutsube is back now as a DP input. It feels really off, honestly, just because it's in an awkward angle, and the only thing that changes between the versions is the height and the speed. Ambiatora is now, of course, super forward kick. Depending on which version you use, Mamaha fly with different angle, whilst the EX one will always fly at one angle and cause a juggle for combos. Mamaha has a cooldown, so be careful. Link to Mamaha is back and is the only special that hasn't had its input changed. It remains most of the same, however it only has 2 follow-ups now. Dropkick, which you can be used to start combos at certain heights, or Kamui Mutsube, which is a very fast dive bomb that can also lead into combos with right spacing. It is an incredibly powerful tool, but we'll get into that later. And Mutsube is absolutely her most reworked move in this game. For starters, the light one is actually normal, and in fact if you get it from far away, not only is it safe, but you get a juggle. The heavy one honestly feels underwhelming on its own, and the EX one feels even worse, but that's because those two have a follow-up for some reason now. It's not even that bad, as it is very hard to punish on block and it causes hard knockdown on heavy. It is kinda useless on EX, but EX and Mutsube is kinda useless in general. Inepu Kishima 1 Pechue is her new original super for this game. it kinda sucks. It does more damage than her other super, yes, but it doesn't do as much in terms of combos. It cannot be done after a juggle and cannot go into climax without wasting a lot of damage, so in general you rarely see this one. Iskayatoru Rimse is her classic Samsho 1WFT. Depending on which button you press it to fight a different angle, was the EX1 goes at one angle, it shares the same Amaha cooldown as the other moves that use it, so be careful. Her climax Kanto Kamui Mutsube is honestly so underwhelming that the funniest part about it is just the startup animation as it goes around the screen twice. Sure packs a punch though. I know I've kinda sounded negative, but that's not because this Nakoruru sucks. No, she's really fun. She's just very original. Like, you wouldn't expect a debut to be this drastic from the standard version of her. But at the same time, just because she's non-standard doesn't mean that she wasn't an absolute bitch to deal with it. Alright, first of all, they had to nerf 2C and J due to the sheer fact that they were just twice the size of her, which, you know, on a character that is for some reason as small as her right now. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. Also, anything involving Mamaha had to be nerfed, because that bird would beat projectiles, it was a better DP than most DPs. I mean, even now you can use her as a frame trap, so it's not like she's useless or anything. Also, there's just something really ironic about them having to nerf An Mutsube to actually be punishable. It's a Samsho character, that shit should be punishable without spacing. And here's the thing, she is still really fun, she's still strong, she has a lot of the stuff that made her bullshit just toned down. However, I still think this version is weird just because it's barely Nakoruru. Everything feels off about her in this game, but like, it works. So now let's get to a more faithful adaptation of her, shall we? It's time for the game everyone actually plays now.
SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy.
You know, this was supposed to just be a gag because I said that canon games. But unironically, this version of Nakoruru goes hard as fuck. Okay, just so I make it clear, we're not going over the other outfits, because the genie one is fine and all, but what the actual fuck were they thinking with the default outfit? This doesn't fit her at all, what the fuck? Thankfully we have the default outfit, and on top of that it just looks great in this game. Like, all of the problems I had for some reason are gone. All of her normals are also cranked up to 11 to fit this wacky game, and they all feel great. There's literally nothing. Honestly, this is just 14 but better. Like, she feels so good in this game, I can't state that enough. Even the specials feel great, most of them are back with the exception of Kling, but that is understandable. An Mutsube and Rera Mutsube act the same whilst Ambe Yatoro had to change its trajectory, which makes sense I guess. And the return! Not only is Kamui Rimse back, but it feels great. Everything about her in this game feels great. The combos are so fun to pull off. They have so much sauce to them. Both Iruka and Inepu come back as her supers and they both feel great. Inepu now actually combos. In fact, you can get some really cool combos with it. It just feels so good to have it usable. God! Not to even mention the amount of customization you have with all of the accessories and stuff, like, oh my goodness, you have a lot of options. But to me the single best part has to be the fact that every character has nearly all of their character artworks throughout the series recreated in 3DS poses that you can pose around and edit. That is genuinely sick! Like, this is the actual good fan service, why didn't they promote that instead of the horny shit? In terms of colors, she still has the player 2 and 4 colors, however, the 4th color in this game is the return of quite possibly my favorite Samsho character. Okay, so you gotta understand, this started out as just Nakoruru's alternate colors from the first 2 Samurai Showdowns. So they decided to just turn it into Nakoruru, but what if she was a bloodthirsty maniac that just seeks nothing but absolute chaos and is a smug bitch with big... She was originally gonna be DLC for KoF14 with shorter hair to resemble the one she had in Samurai Shodown 64. However, that got scrapped and we got the schoolgirl outfit instead, which I feel was a bummer, but whatever. Thankfully in this game she isn't just a simple recolor like Samsho 1 and 2, as she comes with her own voice set, intro, quotes, she's essentially just the skin.
Ready?
しまいよ。ここからです。これでおしまいです。邪魔をするなら。
Player 1 wins!
レオナさんはいつも任務に励んでおられるのですね。立派です。争いはいつまで経ってもなくならない。私たちは罪深い生き物なのよ。
And you know, this shit gets funnier because voice 2 is Rera, the character that replaced Murasaki for the 5 games.
お覚悟。火よ、勝利よ、風よ、神よ、生母。痛いです。
Player 1 wins!
私もあなたも戦場でしか生きられないのでしょうか。
I thought this was just gonna be like a dumb funny game I'm gonna put as a gag, but no, Nakoruru is absolutely amazing in this game. She's fun to play, she is fun to mess around with, she has so much fan service to like callbacks and all that stuff. But now then, let's get to her final appearance so far, and it's probably the version most of you are familiar with.
Finish!
お互い悔いのない戦いにいたしましょう。
Since the game came out after Show 7, all of her normals are reused from there. However, for the most part, they match their 14 counterparts. The biggest changes are to Jump B and Jump D, as her old Jump D is now Jump B, and Jump D follows the other Team Samurai members' logic and uses her Jump M. No, but seriously, changing the cross-up to be her Jump B feels so much better, it's so much faster. You're an absolute menace with that button. Light and Matsuri stays about the same, whilst Heavy now causes a cross under, whilst the X is her main combo 2 of a far confirms. Heavy and especially EX feel so much better to use now, as you get a lot of stuff off of them. The Rera Matsuri is now her de facto DP, it has amazing range, it starts up really fast. Just make sure that you don't whiff or block it, because you're as dead gets. Anbe Yatoro itself is basically unchanged from 14, it acts exactly the same. The only difference is Mamaha timeout doesn't apply to the supers anymore. Kamui Rimse finally makes its KoF debut based on the Show version, which means it has the follow-up. It acts differently according to the version you're using. EX Kamui Risme is probably her most important move, as it causes a crump when it starts all of her combos. The follow-up is garbage though, you'll never see it used. Cling to Maha is a complete stance now, as it has its own normals and various different ways to get out of it, including the drop kick and Kamui Mutsube. Iruska is back, and the normal versions act exactly the same as they did in 14. However, the level 2 version now has one set distance and it calls a cinematic afterwards. Indeed, Kamui Risme makes its debut in KoF. The level 1 version is a shortened one, whilst the level 2 is based on the Samurai Shodown version. Her climax is way more cinematic now and is based on her SSM from Samurai Shodown 7. Just without the blood. Her overhead is finally in the game, it is extremely powerful, hard knockdown on hit and extremely plus on block. You can EX it off of Cling to Mamaha to make it a combo starter. I completely forgot to mention, you can EX any follow-up off of Cling, including Cling itself, and they all have different properties. It is extremely useful. EXing Cling itself is also very useful, as you can do this shit. And besides carrying over her moves and animations, they also brought back her colors from Show 7 from 1 to 4, whilst 5, 6, 7 and 8 are made for 15. I'm pretty sure color 6 is a reference to Buster Rimururu from Show 3, and oh, would you look at that. Yeah, sadly that's all Murasaki got in this game. But that is essentially how she launched, and there is a reason I waited for the last patch, because I would call her kinda okay-ish until recently. Like, she launched very rough, like not as bad as her teammates. Team Samurai is kind of shit from the start. But very recently, all of them got really big buffs, and Nakoruru, I'd say, has my favorite changes, because she's essentially become, and I'm quoting a friend here, Marvel vs. Capcom 3-0. Nakoruru has always been easy to learn, hard to master. However, I think the last patch just made everything flow so much better now. all of the bullshit like she has now is locked behind that master part. You need to commit to stuff. You need to risk if you're gonna get blown up or you're gonna blow them up. Everything feels great. She doesn't feel too cheap. However, if you're finding a really good one, I bet that statement is gonna change very differently. I think the best way to portray it is she has all these amazing tools to get in. She can be very safe or very plus. However, you can accidentally fuck up and then remember you're a Samsho character. You're minus as hell on that and then you're gonna die. They made it so easy to blow yourself up. But it is to me that just kind of adds to it. Nakoruru started out as absolute bullshit in 14, then got nerfed, then was absolute bliss in SNK Heroines, and now in 15 she may have started out kind of rough like the rest of her teammates, but my goodness, she feels incredible to play. If it's not obvious, this last patch has essentially invigorated me to play her even more than I already did. It just feels great that I can finally play the character I like and play them in this absolutely beastly manner where it's live or die. It's embrace death. They turn her into Samsho itself. She again transcends it. God damn. Hello, hello. It is me, the guy you've been listening to for the last holy shit 15 minutes. Yeah, so I haven't done one of these in a bit, and I was asked to try out VO this time. I'll be honest with you, I hope you enjoyed. This was rushed beyond belief. I'm kind of on a tight deadline. I have to leave home by tomorrow morning for the holidays, so I wanted to do it as fast as I could. Honestly, I've had this video planned for a while. I just really waited for the last patch because I wanted to see how Nakoruru would turn out, and like you probably noticed, I absolutely adore how she turned out. I will admit, if it's not obvious, I prefer Murasaki over Nakoruru. In fact, I actually have a figure of Murasaki. I got it for my name's day. I love it to death. And I just really wanted to do like one of these, especially after the last video was probably my most successful video ever. That wasn't that one shitty AMV I did like a decade ago. I really want to thank you all for supporting it, for you know, just enduring my bitch ass voice. I sound like a squeaky bitch if you ask me. And again, sorry for the language. This is essentially the after show if it's not obvious. Okay, I guess advertising time. If you have any ideas for what I should do next year, you know, because I'm off a year's break, just put them down in the comments. I'm always down to try something new. I already did Kim and Ramondo, so I'm out of ideas for my main team. I have a Blue Sky. I used to have Twitter, but honestly most of my friends switched and all I kept seeing was spam bots, so I switched. I'll have those in the description. You may find me on the KoF Discord. I do commentary for those that don't know, since obviously a lot of new viewers after the last video. And yeah, I love Samsho as much as I love KoF. I actually beat all of Samsho with Murasaki for like a challenge when the figure was arriving. It was very funny to surprise my friends with them. Oh. But yeah, this was fun to make. I don't know if I'm gonna do more VO. If you have critiques or, you know, you just wanna shit on my shitty voice, just put it out in the comments. I think that's enough rambling. This is already 2 minutes. We're almost at the 20-minute mark for this video. But yeah, again, thank you for watching it. Have a happy new year and happy holidays, everyone. Ciao ciao from me.